Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. This is going to be a bit of a slower video. I am officially back, yay! However, I for some reason thought it was appropriate while seeing my friends over the weekend that I would walk around without a scarf and without a hat in 0 degrees weather. Why I did it, I'm not really sure, but alas, here I am. So it's just, just wanted to warn you before we really got into it. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in. I mean, I leave for 3 days and the entire world just completely implodes. Very weird news day. I had a couple of friends, one in particular, who was sending me a message. He's not anywhere near where I am. He was asking what's wrong with the cryptocurrency market. And it was kind of too much to explain in a text message. Have you ever been in that situation where you're like, I don't want to text you an entire book right now. So I don't know if he's watching this, but I'll send this to him after so he kind of gets the idea. For those of you who are completely unaware or have not been really paying attention to traditional finance, especially over the last couple of weeks, everything looks like it's collapsing. Not joking, not making fun. It looks like we may have finally reached the pinnacle, which should have been 2008, 2009. If the entire world's market had been able to collapse in 2008 and 2009 and kind of rebuild a brand new system, once again, not joking, that was free from the chains of the former nonsense that we still have, we wouldn't be in this discussion. However, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says stocks fall and oil tanks as storm clouds gather over global economy. There are an enormous number of factors as to why this is happening, where people think things are going. Many economies over the last year and a half, you must have remembered, especially if you've been here, their currencies are collapsing, like actually completely falling to the ground. There's no real saving them. The US dollar being the world's global fiat currency, if you will, that kind of shadows over everything, is also not doing well as well. Regardless of the Federal Reserve announcing that they're going to be tapering or not pumping as much money as they have been doing into the market, it's still going to be necessary because the market now needs money in order to be able to go forward. There's no other way around it. It's not as simple as turning off the printing machine and going, well, good luck. No, the entire world collapses just from that one activity. So it has to kind of keep going. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says, now this is from 21 hours ago, but just, pay attention. It says Bitcoin wobbles below 46,000 as one Bitcoin has passed by 800,000 Turkish lira for the first time. We went over this sometime last week, and we've actually been going over this for the last 2 years. The Turkish lira is typically one of the more publicized fiat crumblings because of how high profile the country is. The country has also been trying to enter the EU for a while now, and usually they are told no because of many different factors that we're not going to get into right here. But the fact that now their economy is completely crumbling, of course, has shed even more light onto it. We've had indications that people who have wallets that are located within Turkey, who have had Turkish activity, if you will, are also buying up tons of Bitcoin at the same exact time as well. Here's an actual, I believe this is it. Yeah, here's the actual chart compared to the US dollar / Bitcoin. It just doesn't look good. And this is the actual zoomed in version over the last year. We've seen this chart before many other times and it's continuously collapsing, but this is what's actually happening within the last month and a half or something like that. So it's a pretty bad indication of what other countries around it could also soon be feeling as well. It says Turkey halts stock trading as lira plunges to a brand new low, has lost 40% of its value since the start of this year. It's not looking good. Once again, this is not the only country that's going through this, and this is why it's making gigantic headlines. Regardless of what you might think is happening in other countries and how it might not affect you, it's going to. It's happening. The last 2 years have been, the word crazy doesn't even begin to describe it. If you've watched the news, if you have a smartphone, you've seen some of the stuff that's been going on. It's like absolute chaos, if I can actually even say that. On top of that as well, China has been desperately trying to ease creditors, debtors, other countries. That what happened with Evergrande is not going to happen anywhere else. For those of you who don't know, they were the largest property sector management firm company, I believe, on the continent, if you will. They've been overproducing, overcreating. They couldn't pay back their debtors. They've also tried to tell people who bought some of their buildings, hey, we're going to be paying you back. And they know good and well that they don't actually have the money, allegedly. So saith the internet. I'm just basically mimicking the thousands of websites that I've been reading. And if they're not real, if they can't pay back their debts, that means every other smaller company is probably going to have the exact same problem. It's overproduction for the idea that growth is going to continue forever, and growth cannot continue forever. Nothing continues forever. You hear me, but I know some of you don't hear me because you are following the idea that growth can be eternal, and nothing works that way, especially not in finance. So it's not that this company has only been doing business in China. That's not how the world works anymore. These companies do business all around the world. And if you can't pay back in your country, you can't pay back in mine. So that's kind of the run up. Once again, friend, if you're watching, that's it. And that's still like the actual top of the proverbial iceberg, if you will, because the world has been in a state for a number of years. It's just more so that 19 has really pushed it really quickly to the surface. So anyway, that's the first portion. Just for you, those of you who've been wondering, why is the stock market not doing well? Why does everyone keep complaining about traditional markets and bonds and equities and all these other things like that? It's this. Once again, it may not seem like a lot to you because it may not be directly happening within your country. But if this actually is what people think it is, the world's economy is going to go through another 2008, 2009 scenario. And this time, while the US dollar is already being, I don't want to use the word hyperinflated, demi-inflated, and then they'll then have to continue printing more money to even try to save the economy once again. On top of that, in sure, why not, go for it news, a lot of websites are announcing that Bitcoin is apparently printing some type of a bullish pattern. Bitcoin looks like it could be trying to move higher. It looks like Bitcoin could be doing major things. I'm not sure if this is the actual, so it appears that, you know how like we keep going up and then slamming back down? I think a lot of those things are manipulation, but alas, they're actually creating bottoms in the price. The idea being, if we keep hitting, let's say 40,000, we fall down, hit 40,000 and swing back up, go back down, hit 40,000, swing back up. It shows that 40,000 is the level of resistance, and therefore it could be a means as to what our new price bottom is supposed to be, as people keep talking about and indicating, as they have for the last couple of weeks, that Bitcoin looks like it's going to try and move back above $50,000 relatively soon. A lot of the cryptocurrency price news was quite okay. I was really shocked coming back that it wasn't all doom and gloom as it's been for a while. There's a lot of news about the Santa Claus rally, which is continuously popping up. The idea being that as we get closer to Christmas, I don't know if these people believe in Santa. I don't know what it is, but something about Bitcoin's price shooting back up around that date. It says Bitcoin short squeeze is building up. Bitcoin inches back above $48,000. Basically, the short squeeze being people who are shorting or betting against Bitcoin being squeezed out of the market, their positions being liquidated or destroyed. That's a bit more dramatic, and therefore Bitcoin shooting back up in price. Again, the key winner of today's price news was Ethereum. They really, when it came to actual price news, they were the major coin of the day. It says technical analysis, Ethereum breaks a key hurdle. Why there could be a strong rally. It says Ethereum price analysis, Ethereum could rally if it clears $4,000. That just seems to be completely logical at this point, as 4,000 for some reason has been the staying point and also the jumping off point for Ethereum, at least so we've been told over the last couple of weeks. It says Ethereum price analysis, Ethereum rises 3% to trade above 4,000. Santa Claus rally? It's everywhere. Like, this is probably the most, I think people just kind of have these things in their head that they like to say every single time that there's like a holiday or something, because maybe they think it pushes good luck into the market. I'm not really sure. It's going to take a lot more than Santa Claus. It's going to take like an actual concerted effort for the entire market to really get it together and realize their prices are just extremely undervalued. But yet again, the market has no actual logic in it. I would assume that a large part of the Ethereum news has to do with this. It says Ethereum 2.0 testnet Kensugi, that is Kintsugi, goes live in preparation for merge. This is a testnet that is apparently one of many. I am going to hope that this is not another Cardano situation where Cardano has a white testnet, then a purple testnet, then a red testnet, then a blue testnet, then a green testnet, then a light green testnet, and then they finally launched the actual thing. We've had news for a while that the upgrade for the merge of Ethereum 1.0 and 2.0 coming together is supposed to happen at the beginning or sometime the beginning of 2022. No one knows the exact date, but them announcing the launch of the testnet, and I believe this is one of the first testnets, is a great step in the right direction. We also had news, what was it, 2 weeks ago, that one of the main developers was basically discussing, hey, we have a testnet up now, go test it out to see, they wanted everyone from people who have no idea what they're doing to like the pro of the pro to kind of see if the network is actually functioning. And for those of you confused by the photo, apparently, reading around, Kensugi is Japanese. I know I can't pronounce it correctly. I don't read Japanese, so I'm sorry. Apparently is a word that has to do with repairing something with gold, so that you can see that it had previous faults. However, it is still usable, which I think it's quite fascinating that they would name that for the Ethereum network, meaning that they know that it has faults. It's being prepared, re-prepared, fixed by gold, and therefore to be better in the future. So yeah, I cut out a whole bunch of Ethereum price news because it seemed redundant once again. But yeah, also still not done with the price news. I told you, it's going to be a very fascinating video because there's so much happening at one time. It's also very odd. We have certain months where there's maybe 3 news stories and that's it. It's like Elon Musk's cat bought Bitcoin. It's some really odd, weird news story, but there's I guess it's also the end of the year, so maybe everyone's just pushing I have no idea. Anyway, on top of that as well, XRP's price has been moving up, and a lot of people are getting very excited. Apparently, there is something called a Sologenic airdrop. I think Sologenic is a company. For those of you who are not as familiar with airdrops as many others who've been here for a long time, airdrops were very big in 2017 and 2018. The idea being if you hold a certain coin and a coin was being built on top of it or some other project was related to it in some sort of way, you would also receive this new coin, usually based off of how much of the old coin that you were actually holding. So I think it says it's somewhere around here. Maybe it's the wrong actual website. Maybe it's on the other one. It says exactly when it's happening. It says XRP holders are set to receive $500 million as a spread across them in January 2022 for the Solo token. It was somewhere around here. Jeez Louise. There we go. The snapshot. So what happens is if you have your coins on a cryptocurrency exchange, they create a snapshot of a certain hour, a certain time to see exactly how much coins you had on your profile at that one given time. It says the snapshot is scheduled to be taken on the 24th of December of this year at 20 o'clock UTC from all the XRP and or Solo wallets that have been created. A trust line with the Sologenic Oracle. I don't know what any of that means. Users can hold their assets on the centralized exchanges that are supporting the airdrop or create a trust line directly from their own private wallets to claim it. This is once again not financial advice. It's more of a from past experiences having seen this taking place. I would not download any extra external wallets or connect any of that to any of your systems. If you are using a cryptocurrency exchange, I would simply really send them an email and say, hey, are you supporting this airdrop? Go to their Twitter. I don't think many of them have an Instagram. They'll usually say right there, hey, we're supporting this. The airdrop, the snapshot is happening on the 24th. Just simply keep your tokens on the exchange so you don't have to do any extra steps, because a lot of times before in the past, not saying it'll happen with this one, but before in the past, people have downloaded, apps and this and linked it to the other things, and some of their stuff has been stolen. You kind of get the idea. So XRP's price is currently rising, I believe, because of this. I think it has nothing to do with the actual SEC lawsuit thing, whatever is still taking place between them. It was somewhere in, I think it was this article. I read it and I wanted to show everyone something. Yeah, here we go. It says, yeah, the crypto asset XRP, it's right here, and its market have been buzzing as a digital currency has gained more than 10% during the last week. And it says XRP is up by 54% year to date. And I read that and I was like, okay, that's cool. Remember I mentioned to you before, like there are certain coins that have really done well. And it's annoying. Two of my friends, hello, who I always hang out with and we basically talk crypto. We were discussing how like it's so weird. Now this is once again, this is how we have focused on the market. We aim for, blue chips and really big things in the market, but it's always the really weird, odd, random, you never heard about it coins that end up like exploding in value. So I actually, if you go to, basically any cryptocurrency price website, there's always a part where you can change it, change from year to date, and you can see like what prices have been exactly over the last year from this moment. Bitcoin since last year is up by 77%. Not bad. And once again, some of these numbers look, I want to say abysmal, but these are great compared to stocks, bonds, mutual funds, even real estate. Once again, if you're lucky, you get 15% rise in a year. So 77% isn't bad. Binance coin is up by 1,300%, which is kind of like a little digital smack in the face because who thought that Binance coin would be up by so much? Solana's up by 11,000%. It almost seems unrealistic when you kind of do that number. XRP, 272%. Wonderful, fantastic. Once again, not terrible by any means. Cardano was up by 612. Let me know when you notice something weird. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Oh, there it is. Yup, that one. Shiba Inu, and I guess it makes so much sense now why it's constantly in the news, is up by 42 million %. It doesn't even sound real. It doesn't even, and now I'll move on after this one. Can you imagine, like a literal time machine, if you had put $10,000 into this? It's always the really weird, odd, obscure coins that always do this every single time that there's like a bull market or a bull run up in the cryptocurrency space. But alas, Anyway, so just wanted to go over when I saw that XRP had only gone up by X percent, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's because I see numbers like this all the time, and I'm like, well, it doesn't beat 42 million. Anyway, so that's all the price news. I know it was a lot. It had to be explained. The world's traditional economy, the end appears to be nigh at this point. It's really difficult to kind of calm any kind of fears because the only thing that has done that for the last couple of years has been printing more money. And when you've printed too much already and you see that the value of the old money continues to drop, Anyway, that's all just the price news. I know. Believe me, I know. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, I thought this was a joke. It's not a joke. I don't know what reality is anymore. Justin Sun, TRON's foundation's founder and one of the most controversial figures in the crypto space, that is true, is leaving his current position at the TRON Foundation. The entrepreneur, has accepted an offer from the government of Grenada and will work as the country's new ambassador to the World Trade Organization. I think it's just because it's the end of the year. I read this and I thought it was fake. At what point this summer or at the beginning of this year did you think that the founder of TRON was going to work for a world government and leave TRON? It doesn't make a lot of. So here's the tweet for it right here. It says congratulations at Justin Sun on his appointment as ambassador, permanent representative of Grenada to the World Trade Organization. The TRON Foundation is so new position, and this is the part that really took me out. It says due to his new position, Sun will now be referred to as His Excellency, as announced via a new Twitter handle. I want the world to make sense, but it simply won't. Will this be the last that we hear of Justin Sun in the cryptocurrency space? I'm not sure. I have a strange feeling it won't be. I give this 2 years. I have a very strange feeling. I have no idea. But yeah, so apparently while I was away, I guess all it takes is for me to go away for 3 or 4 days. And isn't this weird? Why they chose Justin Sun to be their ambassador for the World Trade Organization? Anyway, that's the Justin Sun. Now, His Excellency news. Like, what? What in the world is... And yeah, let's move on. Also, and yes, this is also real. And yes, this is also just as weird as the thing we were just talking about. It says, for years, electronics retailer Radio Shack used the slogan, "You've got questions, we've got answers." I used to hate hearing that as a kid. It used to drive me absolutely insane because I was like, I don't have any questions. I don't go to Radio Shack because I go to Best Buy. Like, I don't understand. It says after the chain's latest move, people have a lot of questions. Over the weekend, the company confirmed a pivot into DeFi. For those of you who don't know what Radio Shack is, exactly. It just completely exactly. Radio Shack was not even Best Buy's around anymore, or kind of ish. You know, like that store that you currently go to where you buy electronics from, and not the Apple store, but like an actual like electronics store. Radio Shack was like that in I think the 60s. I don't know, the 70s and 80s. I know they were on in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, but they like just didn't evolve with the times. You know what's really funny? Blockbuster, apparently someone came up to them bringing it on back. You know, Netflix. Yes, got it. Cool. Before Netflix was currently Netflix, you used to have to, I think, like mail in, like you would send them money or something like that, and they would mail you actual physical discs. This was a very long, 15 something or so years ago. Before Netflix actually became normal Netflix, somebody actually went up to Blockbuster and was like, hey, we have the opportunity to be able to make a website where people can go and rent movies. And they were like, that sounds stupid. And they didn't go through with it. And that's why Blockbuster is no more, because they didn't see the actual curve coming. The same can be, and I mean, allegedly, I don't know, said for Radio Shack as well. When I was a kid, and I mean like a kid walking through Radio Shack, and they had like actual radios when people were using, like those like really thick, chunky MP3s at that point, and they just never really had anything new. So as far as I understand, it says Radio Shack filed for bankruptcy. As far as I can understand, I think this was recently purchased by someone, and therefore this is where the pivot is actually going to. Over the weekend, the company confirmed a pivot into DeFi, the name for blockchain-based protocols that allow people to send, receive, trade, lend, and borrow funds without intermediaries. Radio Shack DeFi is apparently what the website now says. I haven't clicked on it, but I assume it's there. It says we will be the bridge between the CEOs who control the world's corporations and the new world of cryptocurrencies. Oh boy, according to the documents on the website, Radio Shack and Radio Shack alone, can bridge the gap and cross the chasm of mainstream usage for cryptocurrency. It says if you're raising your hand to ask a question, we see you. Is today April 1st? It's not. All right. The website touts a partnership with Atlas USV Universal. Oh, that's cringy. Atlas Universal Store of Value, a DeFi protocol that allows applications to be built atop it. Radio Shack DeFi aims to begin by creating a decentralized exchange in the vein of Uniswap or SushiSwap that taps into liquidity pools. The model lets token holders trade directly for any other token. So if you read a bit further, as far as I can tell, apparently this was purchased by someone called Alex Mea and Ty Lopez. And apparently that's where Atlas USV comes from. So I'm going to end it on that note and not go any further because I have thousands of things to say. But I think it's also right here as well. Whoever wrote this tweet, I mean, really, I tip my digital hat to you. It says it's eerie how much Radio Shack launching or relaunching as a DeFi platform late in this bull market is like Kodak reinventing itself with Bitcoin miners and an ICO in late 2017. For those of you, and I know I say this all the time, but it is completely relevant because this year makes no sense, who were not here in 2017. For those of you who don't know what Kodak is, I can't help you. It's like your phone, but take out the camera, make it like 8 times bigger, and you have to like print it from your phone, and you got to wave it in the air. Kind of. Anyway, the point is, in 2017, when basically nobody was using Kodaks or Polaroids anymore, what have you, they came out and they were like, hey, we're going to make an ICO because ICO was kind of the thing of the year. The same exact way that DeFi is kind of the buzzword. If you say DeFi, everyone runs to you thinking that you have huge amounts of money or liquidity. That was ICO. The idea of an ICO was that, once again, EOS, I can raise $4 billion. I can do whatever I want. So that was kind of the thing. And they also said that they were going to be a Bitcoin mining company. Have you heard anything about Kodak, Bitcoin mining machines, or an ICO in the last 4 years? No. So, yes, Radio Shack is actually rebranding itself as a DeFi platform and apparently an NFT collection. Hear me out. I think this could work if done correctly. I think if they do and I'm not going to go into all the things. It's just more of this could totally work out. If Radio Shack actually becomes a cryptocurrency exchange, and I mean a proper decentralized one, but I have a feeling, Anyway, that's the Radio Shack news. I thought it was a joke. It's real. What is existence? It was either the last video or the video before that. I made the actual thumbnail. It was like, is this real life? Because the news every single day is getting weirder and weirder. And I know it's not just me who's realizing all this stuff, but it's a very fascinating time to be alive across the board. Like, we are going to have crazy stories to tell our grandkids whenever we have grandkids. Anyway, that's the Radio Shack news. Yeah, I know some of you are still scratching your head right now because you did not foresee Radio Shack becoming a DeFi, decentralized exchange NFT platform. No one did. Alrighty, moving on. And to finish things off, it says MicroStrategy plans to buy even more Bitcoin with no intention of hedging. I didn't even have to really read through this one. MicroStrategy has been one of the largest players in the cryptocurrency space for a while. It apparently came out like a day or two ago that they are not slowing down their Bitcoin purchases anytime soon. I'm actually going to be, for those of you who do not know on this channel, I've recently relaunched my second channel. I believe there's a link in the description below, I think somewhere around there. And I'm going to be discussing not just this thing about MicroStrategy, but in general. There's a lot of news popping up about Bitcoin, and I'm going to try and just simply clarify some things on that channel. Yes, no one should be surprised. MicroStrategy is trying to buy all the Bitcoin, not in a joking way. We've been saying this since 2018, 2019. There are, 3 companies, and it seems like their actual goal in life is to simply own more, own an actual million Bitcoin. Not 10,000, not 100,000, not 150,000, like a cool million out of 21 million, and also I think 16 million that are only actually still in existence. So this was also quite popular, dare I say. It was floating around as if people were somehow confused or thought that MicroStrategy was going to stop. MicroStrategy has made, I'm sure, billions of dollars over their Bitcoin acquisitions over the last couple of years. Why do you think they would stop? I'm not really sure, but they're not going to be stopping anytime soon, especially not according to the actual what the CEO is saying. I cannot read the Patreon names. I'm so thank you first of all very, very much for all the Patreon supporters. I'm at my limit right now, and I'm fluctuating my voice to try and make sure that I can actually keep it in check. But I think if I read out the Patreon names, I would actually crack. Thank you very much to all my Patreon members. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Thank you to everyone for the NFT support. I saw people buying NFTs over the weekend. Thank you very, very much. I don't know why I went outside without a hat and a scarf. I feel little little stupid, but alas, here I am. I'm having tons of tea. Thank you very much for all the support. Once again. Thank you. At the moment, Bitcoin is at $48,600. It is up by 5%. The cryptocurrency market is following the exact same movements. This happens every single time. I think everyone try not to sit there with bated breath. To see if it's going to happen. Bitcoin should be well above $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 at this point, but the constant discussion is, can we pass by $50,000? Sure, we can. Yes, we were actually just there a couple of days ago, but now we're below 50,000. So I think the market is moving to see if this is actually the movement that everyone has been waiting for. Luna is up currently by 8%. Avalanche is up by 15. Shiba Inu is up by 10. There was no Shiba Inu news. There must have been something floating around on, almost said forums. Yeah, I guess forums. I mean, Reddit or something, discussing maybe a potential future move for the coin. Matic, Polygon is up by 11%. It makes sense. This is one of the most used things right now to actually help scale Ethereum. Tons of NFTs are built on top of Polygon. It's great. It's free. It's feeless. So it makes sense that Polygon would be continuously moving up, as is one of the few things helping to scale Ethereum. Litecoin is up by 3%. Uniswap is up by 4%. Anything crazy? FTX token is up by 7%. Axie Infinity is up by 5%. It's nice to see a day of green. Some of the Satoshi prices are in red. I usually take this as an indication that people are selling off their altcoins for Bitcoin, but what have you. Helium, logically, is up by 16% because it's helium. Yeah. Let's see exactly where this week takes us. It is, I think, going to be a euphorically weird week in that we are nearing the Christmas, not even the Christmas season, like it's basically Christmas this week. Everyone has been expecting more or less a Santa Claus rally, if you will. And something has to materialize in order to kind of keep the heat in the market. There's no reason why Bitcoin should be this low. No coin in the market should actually be this low right now, especially when we've previously reached these numbers. We see the global economy collapsing around us, and all while massive Bitcoin accumulation is still taking place. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to have an enormous amount of tea right now. I'm going to have spoonfuls of honey. I'm going to do anything that I can and just try and relax. I realize, and I know I probably should not even be making a video, but I realize I'm a workaholic. It's something inside me that I kind of can't get rid of. So hopefully I'm better tomorrow. If not, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably still going to make a video just because that's just who I am. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.